In what manner do we contribute to the ongoing crucifixion of our fellow men and women and the crucifixion of Mother Earth? What sacrifices do we need to make others live?
He went back into the palace and asked Jesus,
"Where do you come from?"
but Jesus did not answer.
"You will not speak to me. Remember, I have the authority to set you free and also to have you crucified."
You have authority over me, only because it was given to you by God. So the man who handed me over to you is guilty of a worse sin.
When Pilate heard this, he tried to find a way to set Jesus free.
If you set him free, that means you are not the Emperor's friend.
Anyone who claims to be a king is a rebel against the Emperor.
Yesterday, I remarked that we are to give ourselves to one another as Jesus gave himself to us. Today, we reiterate this point. We often say that Jesus needed to sacrifice himself in order to appease God, as if God is not ready to forgive us without the sacrifice of his own Son. But the explanation has its own merits. It teaches us the cost of our salvation and the willingness of God to pay the highest price. But it is not the only way we can understand Jesus' humiliating death on the cross.
When Pilate heard these words, he took Jesus outside and sat down on the judge's seat in the place called the Stone Pavement. In Hebrew, the name is Gabbatha. It was then almost noon of the day before the Passover. Pilate said to the people,
"Here is your king."
Kill him.
We could see Jesus' death not as an inevitable result arising from a divinely preordained script to save us from our sins. After all, the temple establishment could have chosen not to bring Jesus to the Sanhedrin. Pilate could have chosen to free Jesus. The crowd could have demanded that he be set free. Yet, the death was inevitable in a different sense. His death was unavoidable in view of the sin of the world that manifested itself in ruthless power play. From a strictly human point of view, Jesus' goodness was no match to the combined powers of the temple and the Roman Empire.
Do you want me to crucify your king?
The only king we have is the emperor.
Then Pilate handed Jesus over to them to be crucified.
We can think of the many people today whose lives would be tantamount to constant crucifixion, also because of the sin of the world that manifests in oppressive structures. Think of the poor living in dehumanizing conditions in slums or in shanty houses, with no adequate food and hygiene. Think of those victims of police brutality, of red tagging. Think of those street children doomed to live wretched lives because of lack of education. Think of the Palestinians whose only fault was to live in Gaza. We can even extend our interpretation to nature, which is being crucified by our unbridled consumerism and utter disregard of what is happening to Mother Earth. In what manner do we contribute to the ongoing crucifixion of our fellow men and women and the crucifixion of Mother Earth? What sacrifices do we need to make others live?